Eventually, we're going to end up in the positions to gross returns method. So I want to know the percentage changes of the 935 bar to the 1559 bar. That's what this guy has ended up doing, times the positions. And then same with the returns, but I want positions of no stop. So you can see that each of these guys gives out a return. And I did a cumulative sum. Not that it's a great backtest, but I just kind of wanted to get a visual on the numbers. And you can see that returns with a stop loss, it doesn't look too good, right? It looks like negative 26% on the year, doesn't look great. But then without a stop loss, it actually looks pretty darn good. It looks like I got a 68% return on the year. Pretty ambitious, pretty good. Let's check the back test. So when I actually checked the back test, I ran it from 16 to 2018. It's quite a bit of data. I just wanted to check it out, and then I can end up parsing each individual year after. QQQ, no stop loss, and I actually end up segmenting by year because there is so much data. I didn't want to jam all of it into memory. And you can see once I run this guy, I actually get a pretty decent return. The Sharpe ratio is not phenomenal. It's probably because of the leverage. And the max drawdown of 34% traditionally is like pretty darn bad, but you're 4x leverage, so it's not like unheard of for that, mindset. And let's come down to really what matters. The cumulative returns versus the benchmark. You can see that the strategy starts off pretty poor, and you probably would have been sweating pretty darn hard when you're down 25% relative to the market on this year, and you're probably questioning if you're still going to run this strategy. But then you can see a massive rebound for pretty much the rest of the year, and you end up beating the benchmark for those individual years. Now, does this look like $6.4 million worth of a strategy? I don't know. I actually kind of leave this open to you because this is how you're always left at the end of research. You're hoping to reproduce identical results from a paper where they may have different data. They may have collected it differently. They may have gotten it from a different broker, which they did in this case. Their doji threshold differently than I defined it. These are all things that I wasn't able to extract perfectly from the paper. May have to reach out to the authors. But there's always kind of that little bit of empty feeling of, is this good? Should I bring this to production? Is this worth my time? How would this do each individual year? I have the foresight where I check this through many years, and some years it does phenomenal and some years it doesn't. So it's always a constant question of how great did it do for how long? And then lastly, there's always the question of, did you make a mistake, right? Did I make a mistake somewhere in my code over the last week of jamming this guy out? Super possible, right? I checked it a million times. I asked ChatGPT to check my logic a couple times. It also told me that everything looked good and dandy, and it thought that this backtest was actually formidable. But at the same time, you can see that the guys in the paper got much higher returns for a much longer period. And the question begs, are they using different data? They got theirs from interactive brokers. I don't know if they're using primary versus consolidated exchanges as another piece of data, that the reason why our data sets may be different. But I'll leave it to you to do the rest of the research and see if you want to bring this into production on your own account. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.